Shrimadbhagavatam ki, their most merciful Lordship Shri Shrimadbhagavatam ki, Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Mahi Subhadra ki, Shri Nathaji Shri Balagopal ki, Shri Maritai ki, Itai Go Premo. All glories to the assembly. All glories to the assembly. All glories to the Lord Spirit of Shri Shri Guru. Shri Guru Ram. I hope I didn't condense the story too much, but trying to leave room for Bhagavatam and reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it may not be able to happen. But we'll go through today's verse, reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 5. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Shaiva Narottamam.
Devam Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devam Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraya.
Tato Jayamudiraya.
Nastaprayashu Bhadreshu.
Nastaprayashu Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishtaki. chapter is entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti. Sajyarit Vajata
Sadhyarit Vajata
Satro
Shatro
Sadhayit Vajata Satro Swam Rajam Kitaver Vitam Swam Rajam Kitaver Vitam
Samrajyam Kitavevritam
Gatayit Vasato
Kataivasato
Ragna
Rajyam
Gatayit Vasato Ragna
Kataivasato Rajyam
Kacha
Kacha,
Sparsha
Varsha,
Satayusha
Shadayusha
Kacha Sparsha Satayusha
Kacha Sparsha Shadayusha
Sadayit Vajita Satro
Sadaivajata Shatro
Sadayit Vajita Satro
Sadaivajata Shatro
Sadayit Vajita Satro
Sadaivajata Shatro
Swam Rajam Kitaver Vitam
Rajam, Kitivir, Ratam,
Swam Rajam Kitaver Vitam
Samrajyam Kitavevritam
Swam Rajam Kitaver Vitam
Samrajyam Kitavevritam
Gatayit Vasato Ragna
Gataivasato Rajyam
Gatayit Vasato Ragna
Hataivasato Rajyam
Gatayit Vasato Ragna
Hataivasato Rajyam
Kachasparsak Satyayusa
Kachasparshak Shatayusha
Kachasparsak Satyayusa
Kachasparshak Shatayusha
Kachasparsak Satyayusa
Kachasparshak Shatayusha
Please chant. Sadayit Vajita Satro Swam Rajam Hitaver Hitam Gatayit Vasato Ragna Kachasparsa Satayusa
Sadayit Vajata Shatro
Sadayit Vajita Satro
Samrajyam Kitavevritam
Tam Rajam Hitaver Hitam
Hatayit Vasato Rajna
Gatayit Vasato Ragna
Kachasparsha Shatayusha
Kachasparsa Satayusa Sadayatva
Sadayitva
having executed
having executed
Ajita Satro
Ajata
of one who has no enemy
of one who has no enemy
Swamrajam own kingdom Kitabai by the clever Duryodhana and party Ritam usurped Gadayitva having killed Asata the unscrupulous Ragna of the queen Kacha bunch of hair Sparsha roughly handled Sata decreased Ayusa by the duration of life Sadayit Vajita Satro Swamrajam Kitaveritam Gatayit Vasato Ragna Kachasparsak Satayusha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhisthira, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died their duration of life having decreased for their roughly handing of the hair of Queen Draupadi. Please repeat. The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhisthira, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died. Their duration of life having decreased for their rough handling of the hair of Queen Draupadi. The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhisthira, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhana were killed by him. Others also died, their duration of life having decreased for their rough handling of the hair of Queen Draupadi. Purport by His Divine Grace of In the glorious days, or before the advent of the age of Kali, the Brahmins, the cows, women, children, and old men were properly given protection. The protection of the Brahmins maintains the institution of Varna and Ashram, the most scientific culture for attainment of spiritual life. 2. The protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food, i.e. milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain for understanding higher aims of life. 3. The protection of women maintains the chastity of society, by which we can get a good generation for peace, tranquility, and progress of life. 4. Protection of children gives the human form of life its best chance to prepare the way of liberty from material bondage. Such protection of children begins from the very day of beginning a child by the purificatory process of Garbhadan Sanskar, the beginning of pure life. 5. The protection of the old men gives them a chance to prepare themselves for better life after death. This complete outlook is based on factors leading to successful humanity, as against the civilization of polished cats and dogs. It's not talking about animals. By the way, the killing of the above-mentioned innocent creatures is totally forbidden, because even by insulting them, one loses one's duration of life. In the age of Kali, they are not properly protected, and therefore the duration of life of the present generation has shortened considerably. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that when the women become unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Vana Sankar. To insult a chaste woman means to bring about disaster in the duration of life. Dushashan, a brother of Duryodhana, he insulted Draupadi, an ideal chaste lady, and therefore the miscreants died untimely. These are some of the stringent laws of the Lord mentioned above. Om Yanamanandasya Kiranjana Shalakaya Chakshushan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, spoken, well, unspokenly, the reference here is, so severe was this an offense against Draupadi, that it was a cause of a war. And already they had had their own lives threatened over and over and over again, but this act against Draupadi was so considered so severe in their lives, even more so than even their own lives being threatened. And see, this same act we're talking about here, this lust for a woman, this is the same act I'm saying is also related in the mind of a man, of his desire to enjoy God's wife being revealed in that when they have the desire to accumulate God's energy manifest in the form of wealth, as Lakshmi Devi. It is a subtle desire, and in effect we all have it, which is in effect partly the reason we all got into this material world. We've wanted to enjoy God's wife separate from God, which is manifest in this world as God's external energy. And that's what we're all trying to enjoy. Everything in this world is that. Because we're not finding satisfaction, we're not looking in the right place to find the satisfaction we need to replace our longing with satisfaction, which will be found in love of God. And it is able to be achieved and experienced in this world by these activities enumerated by Srila Prabhupada in his establishment of the ISKCON movement, and anything related to the continuance of the Vedic culture and the Vedic philosophy. We have an invocation before reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which begs the presence of Lord Chaitanya, because it is by Lord Chaitanya's mercy then that we can have understanding of the words spoken by, written by the Goswamis to reveal his pastimes. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And what the invocation also gives us is the mood, the tempo, the rhythm, the melody of the verses. Yasmai tatyam charayam sira bandaram Gopinata sira chari biro bhut Shri Gopala Pradhu Sarit Pasasam Yat Prema Tam Madhurvendram Natusmi. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Madhavendra Puri, who was given a pot of sweet rice stolen by Sri Gopinath, celebrated thereafter as Sirachora, being pleased by Madhavendra Puri's pure love. Sri Gopal, the deity of Govardhan, appeared to the public vision. Verse 2. I'm only going to read the English. This is glorious pastime. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Prabhu. All glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord went to Jagannath Puri and visited Lord Jagannath's temple. He also met with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. All these pastimes have been very elaborately explained by Vrindavan Das Thakur in his book Chaitanya Bhagavatam, which is available now, by the way, transliterated and translated by devotees. Glorious. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Therefore, I very humbly submit that since these incidents have already been nicely described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, I would be very proud to repeat the same thing, and this would not be very good. I do not have such powers. I am therefore presenting only a synopsis of those events already described elaborately by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in his Chaitanya Mangal, now known as Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Verse text 8. Some of the incidents he did not describe elaborately, but only summarized, and these I shall try to describe in this book. I thus offer my respectful obeisances, text 9, unto the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakur. I hope that I will not offend his lotus feet by this action. Text 10. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Jagannath Puri with 4 of his devotees, and he chanted the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, with great eagerness. Text 11. Each day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went to a village and collected a great quantity of rice and other grains for the preparation of prasadam. So this is God himself going door to door, asking people for rice. Text 12. There were many rivers on the way, and in each river there was a tax collector. They did not hinder the Lord, however, and he showed them mercy. Finally, he reached the village of Ramuna. Text 13. The deity of Gopinath in the temple at Ramuna was very attractive. Lord Chaitanya visited the temple and offered his obeisances with great devotion. Those temples are still there today. You can go there, yes. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of the Gopinath deity, the helmet of flowers on the head of Gopinath fell down and landed on the head of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 15. When the deity's helmet fell upon his head, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very pleased, and thus he chanted and danced in various ways with his devotees. Text 16. All the servants of the deities were struck with wonder due to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intense love, his exquisite beauty, and his transcendental qualities. Text 17. Because of their love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they served him in many ways. And that night, the Lord stayed at the temple of Gopinath. Text 18. The Lord remained there because he was very eager to receive the remnants of sweet rice offered to the Gopinath deity, having heard a narration from his spiritual master, Ishvara Puri, of what had once happened there. That deity was known widely as Shrimadbhagavatam Gopinath. Shrimadbhagavatam Gopinath. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his devotees the story of how the deity became so famous. Formerly, the deity had stolen a pot of sweet rice for Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, he became very famous as the Lord who stole the sweet rice. Once, Sri Madhavendra Puri traveled to Vrindavan, where he came upon the hill known as Govardhan. Madhavendra Puri was almost mad in his ecstasy of love of Godhead, and he did not know whether it was day or night. Sometimes he stood up, sometimes he fell to the ground. He couldn't discriminate whether he was in a proper place or not. After circumambulating the hill, Sri Madhavendra Puri went to Gopinath Kund and took his bath. He then sat beneath a tree to take his evening rest. While he was sitting beneath the tree, an unknown cowherd boy came with a pot of milk, placed it before Madhavendra Puri, and smiling, addressed him as follows. "Oh, Madhavendra Puri, please drink the milk I brought. Why don't you beg some food to eat? What kind of meditation are you undergoing?" Text 26. When he saw the beauty of that boy, Madhavendra Puri became very satisfied. Hearing his sweet words, he forgot all hunger and thirst. Text 27. Madhavendra Puri said, "Who are you? Where do you reside? How do you know that I was fasting?" Text 28. The boy replied, "Sir, I'm a cowherd boy, and I reside in this village. In my village, no one fasts." Text 29. In this village, a person can beg food from others and thus eat. Some people drink only milk, but if a person does not ask anyone for food, I supply him all his eatables. Text 30. The women who come here to take water saw you, and they supplied me with this milk and sent me to you. Text 31. The boy continued, "I must go very soon to milk the cows, but I shall return and take this milk pot from you." Saying this, the boy left the place. Indeed, he suddenly could be seen no more, and Madhavendra Puri's heart was filled with wonder. After drinking the milk, Sri Madhavendra Puri washed the pot and put it aside. He looked toward the path, but the boy never returned. Madhavendra Puri could not sleep. He sat and chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and at the end of the night, he dozed a little, and his external activities stopped. In a dream, Madhavendra Puri saw the very same boy. The boy came before him and, holding his hand, took him to a bush in the jungle. The boy showed Madhavendra Puri the bush and said, "I reside in this bush. Because of this, I suffer very much from severe cold, rain showers, winds, and scorching heat." 37. "Please bring the people of the village and get them to take me out of this bush. Then have them situate me nicely on top of the hill." Text 38. "Please construct a temple on top of that hill," the boy continued, "and install me in that temple. After this, wash me with large quantities of cold water so that my body may be cleansed." Text 39. "For many days I have been observing you, and I have been wondering, when will Madhavendra Puri come here to serve me?" Text 40. "I have accepted your service due to your ecstatic love for me. Thus I shall appear, and by my audience all fallen souls will be delivered." Krishna. This is Krishna talking to him in his dream. Text 41. "My name is Gopal. I am the lifter of Govardhan Hill. I was installed by Raja. Here, I am the authority." Text 42. "When the Muslims attacked the priest who was serving me, hid me in this bush in the jungle." When the Muslims attacked the priest who was serving me, hid me in this bush in the jungle. Then he ran away out of fear of the attack. Text 43. Since the priest went away, I've been staying in this bush. It's very good that you've come here. Now, just remove me with care. Text 44. After saying this, the boy disappeared. Then Madhavendra Puri woke up, began to consider his dream. Text 45. Madhavendra Puri began to lament. I saw Lord Krishna directly, but I could not recognize him. Thus he fell down on the ground in ecstatic love. Text 46. Madhavendra Puri cried for some time, but then he fixed his mind on executing the order of Gopal. Thus he became tranquil. Text 47. After taking his morning bath, Madhavendra Puri entered the village and assembled all the people. Then he spoke as follows. Text 48. The proprietor of this village, Govardhan Datti, is lying in the bushes. Let us go there and rescue him from that place. Text 49. The bushes are very dense and will not be able to enter the jungle. Therefore take choppers and spades to clear the way. Text 50. After hearing this, all the people accompanied Madhavendra Puri with great pleasure. According to his directions, they cut down bushes, cleared a path, and entered the jungle. Text 51. When they saw the deity covered with dirt and grass, they were all struck with wonder and pleasure. Text 56. When the deity was being installed, 900 pots of water were brought from Govindakund. There were musical sounds of bugles and drums and the singing of women. During the festival, text 57, during the festival at the installation ceremony, some people sang, some people danced. All the milk, yogurt, and clarified butter in the village was brought to the festival. Text 58. Various foods and sweetmeats as well as other kinds of presentations were brought there. I'm unable to describe all these. Text 59. The village brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, flowers, and various kinds of garments. Then Sri Madhavendra Puri personally began the Abhishek bathing ceremony. Text 60. After all inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of the mantra, the deity's bathing ceremony started. First, the deity was massaged with a large quantity of oil so that his body became very glossy. After the first bathing, further bathings were conducted with Panchagavya and then with Panchamrita. Then the Mahasnan was performed with ghee and water, which had been brought in 100 pots. After the Mahasnan was finished, the deity was again massaged with scented oil and his body made glossy. Then the last bathing ceremony was performed with scented water kept within a conch shell. If you go on, and this is Chaitanya Charitamrita.
What Leela?
Madhya Leela,
Madhya Leela.
Volume 1.
Okay.
And this is chapter 4, verses, well, you read that whole chapter. This is the nectar. See, revealed, advanced nectar revealed about the deity's interaction with Lord Chaitanya. And so people just coming out of Christianity, this is somewhat difficult to swallow in some cases. And so then, but when you have the background of the fact that Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna in the same body, then it gives you the ability to realize, see, then we can see the separation that Krishna was revealing from of his own from being in the temple. And he's asking someone in their dream, please bring me back to the temple. So this is Krishna's separation as well from his devotees, you might say.
And also one more pastime like Sakshi Gopal pastime also. Did he come as witness in one?
Yeah, oh yeah, he came out to the city, on the outskirts of town, even.
Yes.
The deity agreed to walk as a witness, walked right up even to the outskirts of town. And we have evidence of this still, those deities standing there to this day.
Yeah.
You can go there and visit
Okay.
these places in India. So these pastimes of Krishna are glorious. And so it's good that we get some exposure through the day. So this is why devotees would spend an hour in Bhagavad Gita, an hour in Bhagavatam, and an hour in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then at nighttime, before taking rest, read one chapter out of Krishna book.
Krishna.
With all the devotees taking hot milk as described. Did you hear what is said about this hot milk as the ability to develop portions of the brain used in spiritual advancement that no other food offers? And we're getting that now. This is the Yasoda milk. So Tirthapad, with loving devotion, milks that cow. Just kept that cow milking for many, many years, more so than normally a cow would be kept milking for. But love has, as Srila Prabhupada describes purity, what he's describing as the purity being the force, the purity of love that we have towards Krishna. That's the force. So the more we love Krishna, the more that love is going to be manifest in our daily activities. And then eventually we all get so covered that 24 hours we're continuously engaged. And then when everybody finds the satisfaction that that brings, the whole world will be transformed into a heavenly planet eventually. This planet's going to be transformed into a heavenly planet. But if we look now and compare, even in our mind's eye, of what a heavenly planet is, which we have no real experience of, right? We can only dream what it is with our mind's eye. So what we have now compared to that, I'm sure, is just a dump hole, right? A garbage dump, more or less.
Okay.
We used to say that the pinnacles used in these churches are like pinpricks in God's footstool.
Okay.
See, there is an architect of the universe.
What's his name?
What is it?
Vishwakarma.
Vishwakarma. Yeah, Vishwakarma.
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 So, if I'm not mistaken, Vishwakarma also was one of those who has his own planet. And in that planet then as well, the same way Manus do. When Manus inhabit a planet, then they give designs for society to be put into perfect order. So that society functions under a process in which everybody's engaged in, all the family members are engaged in the governmental procedures necessary to allow, larger populations. But they're divided into hundreds. And so everybody gets say-so this way. And those hundreds are divided into tens. See how much easier it would be to govern locally like that, and then it spreads out nationally. But as it is, people are thinking they have the ability to represent 1 million people. It's not possible, in my mind. And evidence of that is the fact that everybody's disgruntled and protesting and raising signs that we don't want this to be done. We don't want government doing this thing. We don't want this group doing that thing. And nobody's happy. Where's the happiness? At least in the 60s, the rebellious were the flower children. They were wanting to stop wars and stop all the rebelliousness and just make love. And now we have all the rebellious ones who want to tear everything down and create wars and start fires and create havoc for everybody. My God, where did the music generation go?
Right. Right. He's kind of lame now.
I remember a friend of mine telling me in the 60s, you know, I think music's going to take over the world one day. And you know, Krishna consciousness, that's what Krishna consciousness is. Singing and dancing. Music taking over the world. They make singing and dancing, you know, you've seen these, what are they called? Musicals, right? Mm-hmm. Where in the middle of the musical, everybody busts out in there. Everybody's singing and dancing.
The story of my life.
Yeah. And in the movies, normally that's like the height of everybody's getting their presentation of their musical abilities and singing and dancing and all that stuff. And in effect, that's what Krishna is asking us to do all the time. Have fun, enjoy, come and dance and sing. And then in Mangalarti, this is the same time he calls the gopis. It's disguised because we're in, you know, mundane bodies. But it's Krishna's calling us as gopis to come and dance with him in the morning. With Mangalarti is. But we are under the illusion that we are these bodies, so we think of it as us having the ability to make the choice of whether we want to come or not. It's God, and I'm me, and I've been me for the last 40, 50 years, 30, 40 years. But no, we have an eternal place in Krishna's arms, dancing in Krishna's arms. We have an eternal place there. If we follow the process Krishna says to follow in order to have that kind of love for him, with him, shared with him, that is the purest there is, without tinge of desire for one's own pleasure, then what to speak of. In effect, it's enviousness that comes out when the soul sees that God is enjoying, and not only don't they want God to be the only enjoyer, but they want to take that joy away from him and then become the enjoyer themselves. It's a false ego, the height of the false ego. And this is what's happening as competition comes out as competition, but it's a little bit of twisted envy. Because when we call it competition, then we cover over the sinful, envious nature that it is, that I have to prove myself better than you. What is that at the end? Which we're not. And in effect, are we any better in the eyes of God? That's, I think, what the message that is trying to be put across by the writers of the Constitution, when they say all men are created equal. This is a misnomer, misunderstanding of the fact of the relationship God has with all living entities. This is not our first time around. Therefore, we are in the relationship we are in now because of our prior activities with Krishna. So there's no reason why God should treat everyone the same. He's continuing to treat us the way we've been treating him. But when we take one step towards him, he takes 100 steps towards us. What he said, something like that. So Krishna's making more of an endeavor for human beings than once we even find out the process that we even make for ourselves to get out of the entanglement, find ourselves in as prisoners. Prison house, these bodies, and the entrapment, the senses of the body have us controlled by the efforts we make to satisfy the senses of the body, which, when dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, then can be used as a form of advancement, rather than a form of sinful activity, which Krishna says they're all eating sin. With it is the consciousness they have towards the act they're engaging in. It causes it to be sin more than anything else. Even the act itself, because those who are engaging in the act of picking the fruit itself, but are offering it to Krishna, are benefiting the plant that provided the fruit, the soul that provided the fruit, and they themselves as well. And then returning that which it came from. Krishna is the source of everything. And he makes our connection to the source. If I invite you into my house, and every time I invite you into my house, you greet me, you speak nicely of me, you offer me things that I appreciate and that I love, I'm going to want to make you welcome in my house. If you come with the thought of, what can I get out of this guy? What can this guy do for me? I need something. Then the thought is always there as a limited expression of what might not even be love. The person who has it may think he's coming for a purpose of love of God. He's actually coming to try and satisfy some desire he has, maybe to talk with these people, talk with those people, form this relationship with that girl, that woman, that guy, that all kinds of things in our minds besides Krishna. And it is a relationship with Krishna that is revealed as the highest, coming to the point of the highest achievement this human form of life has to offer. I don't know if I saw this, have you hugged God today? Have you hugged God today? See, in our minds, this act that we saw by was that Madhavendra Puri? Yeah. In his dream. In his dream. So Krishna can allow this to happen in a dream which we are out of control of. Then what to speak of the controlled mind? This is what we do when we chant Gayatri. Someone who's not initiated or doesn't think of the act as feasible as an activity to experience God's presence, right? Don't think of it as something that you would do 3 times a day to reveal your appreciation and your love for the presence of the Supreme Person. Well, what it is that's being given by Krishna is our experience to know what kind of developed forms of love there are in serving God. Because these prayers formed by those elevated souls that have since the beginning of time had a loving relationship with God, who have never or are still in that loving relationship, are the ones who are passing down these prayers to us. And then what to speak, Krishna passing down this Maha Mantra, which is the prayer of all prayers. Yeah. And then taking away all distinctions of classes of society in giving it unboundedly to whoever will take it. What a glorious experience, and what a glorious time for us to be born in, to be able to have this privilege.
I have one question to ask before God, please. Why did Srila Prabhupada put all that tilak on his head?
It wasn't always tilak. Sometimes he would write Krishna's name on his head. But this is there's a ceremony we take part in. Sandalwood is used as a cooling agent. You might know in just like it is here. It's humid also in India. But it gets much hotter in India than it does here, 110 there. And when it's hot, then sandalwood is used on the temples as a means of cooling the body. And as soon as the air hits that, then it cools that blood and
makes your body temperature reduce.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
See, and the fact that you recognize that, somebody might not think that's a significant thing, right? But see, with the openness that we have as devotees with one another, we know that we can ask anything.
Okay.
And everything pertains.
Okay, everything pertains.
Yeah, everything pertains in Krishna consciousness. There's a reason for Tila. There's a reason for devotees. There's a reason for Porta. There's a reason for everything. And we shouldn't feel shy with each other asking. Now, if we have envy in our hearts and trying to accuse somebody of something, that's a different story. But as friends and devotees, our mind should be open to want to know what it's going to do to make us closest friends as we can be, to reveal the love of God is all inclusive.
6 loving exchanges.
Yes. And that's what feeds us as souls, and as souls makes us strong. If Charnamrita from the heavenly planets, what is it called? Somaras. Yeah. When Arjuna, who was it? Bhima. Bhima was given this to drink by his father. He had a row of it lined up in front of him. As many of these glasses you can drink of it, then you can drink. He drank 6 of them. He slept for 6 days and gained the strength of 60,000 elephants. Now, if Somaras can do that, we're eating prasadam every single day, which has spiritual, the qualities of which are Satchidananda, one of which is eternalness. This surpasses the qualities of Somaras. Think about it. So we're being given that which is even beyond what was being given by Bhima himself from the heavenly planets. This prasadam even exceeds, its qualities exceed that in its effects on the consciousness. Somaras affects, I don't know that it affects the consciousness as much as it affects the physical nature of the body itself, like a nourishing nature. Bhima. Yeah, Bhima is given that. So Bhima is Vayu.
And he gets poisoned by Duryodhana and his...
Is he the son of Vayu? Bhima.
Bhima is son of Vayu.
Vayu, yeah. The personality in charge of what takes place is we call wind. These are all reactions that we're seeing the secondary appearances of when we talk about wind. Because these demigods' activities that are taking place in the heavenly planets are of such immense nature that they can affect planets. This is why I'm going to get that telescope today.
Yeah, we can do it right now.
Job. Oh my God, it's 20 after. Jai. Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.